I wanted to say Kevin Rudd does not deserve half of the kudos that he has been getting today, particularly on the left, from people who, like me, support same-sex marriage. His position that he stated last night in the debate is a con. Now, can I say right up the front, the Liberal Party is on the wrong side of history here by trying to fluff and faff around and say we'll go to a party room vote and then maybe it'll be a conscience vote. It is guaranteed to fail. Conscience votes on this issue will kill it off. Now, the defence that is offered for Kevin Rudd saying, well, yes, I will put this before the Parliament in the first 100 days, but it has to be a conscience vote, is because there are several Labor MPs who don't want to go against their church, don't want to go against their religion, and let's be honest too, they don't want to go against particular religious ethnic groups that are in their communities. Well, all of this is crap. All of this is not good enough. If Kevin Rudd is fair dinkum about same-sex marriage, and I hope that he is, and I hope that Tony Abbott's position evolves and he becomes serious about it too, he would do exactly what Julia Gillard did when it came to the carbon tax. You push it through the party room, and because you're the leader, you put, well, your entire reputation on the line, and you say, if we get a majority in the lower house, we will make this law. Now, we know if it goes anywhere near the Senate, the Greens will remain in their position until July of next year, which means this thing would pass. If Kevin Rudd somehow was able to pull magical seats out of his backside, and polls say that's not going to happen. But still, I read everywhere last night and again today about the genius move of Kevin Rudd's same-sex marriage promise. All he promised was a vote, and the MPs that are on his side of the Parliament would then get a free vote. So that would mean that if he had a majority of 2, 3 or 4, and 5 or 6 decided not to support same-sex marriage, and I'll give you the tip, it's more than 5 or 6, it wouldn't pass. It wouldn't become the law of the land. So Kevin Rudd, exactly in the same way that he changed the rules of the Labor Party that had been running for more than 100 years, which was that to actually knock over a sitting Prime Minister, a Labor sitting Prime Minister, the way he did to Julia Gillard, the way that Julia Gillard did to him, the way that Paul Keating did to Bob Hawke, was that you have to have 75%. 75% of the caucus needs to agree. Now, you don't think there were some people who had hard-felt views about that even more passionately than the idea of 2 people they have never met getting legal recognition for their marriage? If you're fair dinkum about people wanting to have a party like so many of us have, where we marry the person that we love in front of our friends and family, you would see Kevin Rudd's promise for what it is, half-baked. And while he is closer to the right side of history than anyone in major mainstream Australian politics, he is not close enough. Unless Kevin Rudd is willing to look down the barrel of a camera and say, vote for me, you get same-sex marriage. Anything more complicated than that means it's a con. And as somebody who has been speaking about this for years and years, and every time I do it, my friends on the right scream at me and say, this is the one big thing we hate about you, Murray. Well, as I have said all the way through, it's a human rights issue. And 2 blokes or 2 women getting married does not dilute my marriage. I don't want people to do stunts where they're going to force Cardinal George Pell to marry homosexual or lesbian couples. I don't want that sort of stuff to happen. But all of that is not a good enough reason not to legally recognise people's relationships, legitimate, adult, monogamous relationships. Now, I've argued for a long time that there are different ways to get to this, whether it's civil unions or part this or part that. Well, all of that's crap. If you want same-sex marriage, and if Kevin Rudd's fair dinkum about it, he will lock his MPs in exactly the same way that he did when it came to Labor Party reform, and exactly the same way that Julia Gillard did when it came to a carbon tax. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter what a few blokes think up the back, it's what those of us who elect governments want governments to do. In the case of Julia Gillard, we didn't want her to put in a carbon tax, hence the fury that in part will be part of Kevin Rudd's downfall. But also, we don't want to see Kevin Rudd pretending that he's Mr. Pro same-sex marriage while, just like John Howard did when it came to the Republic, rigging the question so it fails. If you're fair dinkum about it, who cares about Tony Abbott, who cares about the Libs? Your best chance is forcing Kevin Rudd to get off the fence and truly back same-sex marriage.